All right, hello, good people. We're here for another installation of Inside the Vibe. I'm here with Kernard Reid, artist, songwriter, entertainer, he does it all. I'm gonna hand it over to him. You already know me, I'm Yoru. I'm gonna let Kernard Reid tell us a little about himself.
Yes, sir. Kernard Reid, Hillside, New Jersey,
Yes, sir.
25 years old.
Big Jersey.
And yeah, man, I'm here. I'm ready to chop it up.
Chop it up.
Ready to be inside the vibe.
Inside the Vibe, we here. So I thought we talked a little bit off camera, moving around the same spaces. Like I've always kind of seen, different, I would say, phases of your creative journey. Like I think music is the most recent one.
Right.
But I've seen like we bumped into each other at, in the party space, entertainment space, in terms of like just being on the scene.
Right.
So in all of these kind of phases of who you are and how you've been interacting with being creative, what would two words be that would define your story, or like an overarching theme of what your walk has been like up until this point?
I would say growth and patience.
Growth and patience. Like those are two big things.
Yeah, growth and patience.
So how did you arrive at those words? 'Cause I feel like there's a lot of words you could have used.
Right. I feel like I'm infatuated with growth. Like I'm infatuated with the idea of just being better all around. I don't have to like be just one way or do like one thing. I just want to be better at everything that I'm supposed to be doing. So whatever I'm doing at the moment, like we out here, we in this space, we inside the vibe. Want to make sure I'm being the best at this interview. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
And patience is just taking my time, like not being in a rush, because no need to.
And I think it's interesting you use those two words, because I think, especially now, not to sound like the old man on his lawn, but growth and patience, I think where we are today, and like I would say our age demographic, or just people who are in that, like, adapt to social media, they're almost like inversely proportionate, where it's like we want to grow, but we don't have the patience to wait.
Right.
And that's because I feel our understanding of what growth looks like is so skewed. It's like you wake up one day, you post a video, you got a dump truck, next thing you know, you got 50K views.
Yeah.
Or if you can rap, or if you do a cool highlight, if you do something that grabs attention, your life can change overnight.
Right.
And that concept kind of, it makes our understanding and relationship with patience a little bit less than desired.
Right.
So for someone who's so infatuated with growth, to your own words, how do you balance understanding that you're growing, but maybe not at the rate that you feel your talent should dictate?
Damn, one more time.
So
no,
I'm saying you're growing, and you're big on growth, right?
Right.
But there needs to be a patience there, because sometimes we don't grow the way we want to grow.
Right, for sure.
So for someone like you, who's an artist, an entertainer, and a songwriter, that three talents that probably can break down into a lot of different spaces.
Right.
How do you kind of order your steps by, with your everyday activities, or just how does that feel? Like, how do you make that dynamic of, okay, I feel like I'm talented enough where I should be somewhere else.
Right.
But how do you kind of order your steps where it's like I'm growing,
structure it,
but I need to be patient in where I am versus where I feel I should be?
I feel like I take it, like, I do take it day by day. I know it's cliche to say, but I feel like I take it day by day, because it's kind of hard to make those decisions like in a moment for me. So it might be one point where I'm like, all right, I need to be working on this set of music right now, but at the same time, we need some finances to be coming in.
Yeah.
So I might take a gig and go host a, private event, and then go back home and, you know what I'm saying, get ready to work on something new.
Yeah.
So structure, it comes to the idea of like, I want to say how I'm just feeling at the moment, and then I might base it off of like a certain period. So I might be on some shit where like, I might be on something where I'm just like, all right, cool. This week I need to put the music and the entertainment to the side. Let's pay these bills.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go take a walk. Like
The duality of a
yeah,
creative.
bro. Like let's be around nature or something real quick. Like
It's good to, I think, when you're in this avenue of life and what we produce in whatever facet, you need to disconnect.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I would say, pressure to, I need to grow at this pace, we're in our 20s or low 30s, wherever people are, and I feel like I need to be doing this and now.
Right.
But people have to understand that everyone has their own process. No one is better than anyone else because their process is at a different pace. Because, you know, I think the quote is comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Your life can change so quickly.
Yeah.
So wasting any point of that comparing to what somebody else is doing is just not beneficial.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, you know, your story, I know you talked about growth and you talked about patience. Have those two things changed your approach to art?
For sure.
And in what way would you say?
Talking about what's always current. So being that I'm always literally talking about what's in front of me, I feel like in my music at least, like my experience, daily life, I feel like automatically it's all about growth. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard for me to talk about something that may have happened in the past where it's not gonna be able to show like right now, you know? If that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, no,
I feel like that's when it comes to growth. And being patient, not patient, but being patient, I feel like I talk about that in my music as well. And not only in my music, I mean, shoot, just regular conversations too. You know, being okay with like fulfillment, not the idea of just like chasing, like how you said comparison is the thief of joy, not the idea of just like chasing any and everything, just being okay where I'm at and being fulfilled where I'm at the moment. I try to really like go by that.
And I'm sure that's a challenging kind of thought to balance because I think being content versus being content versus kind of being, trying to think of another term, but you're like okay with where you're at.
Right.
It's these conflicting thoughts where it's like I'm comfortable, where it's like I'm content but I'm not comfortable, right? So I'm okay with where I'm at. I'm okay working out of this place.
Yeah.
I don't feel pressured. I don't feel that there is something that I can't live without, where I'm in a place that I'm okay with. But I'm not comfortable if I stay here forever. And kind of balancing that when you're working in a space where I know you said some days you have to worry about pay these bills. I got to leave the entertainment, songwriting aside. I think it's important to be okay, as you are, from your statement, with being okay with where you are in the process. And I think we preach that, but we don't really activize it. Like we don't actionize that. We don't really believe it.
Yeah.
And it's shown in the actions.
It definitely do. I feel like you said, like a lot of times this generation, and it's crazy. Me and one of my friends was talking about it. We so caught up in like this hustle culture, and making sure we get into it and working all the time that some of us don't even know like simple things like how to grill a burger, like you know what I'm saying, or
No, really.
what it's like to just be around family and disconnect, play board games, just simple things like that. Because we in this rush. So I think right now I'm in a place where I just want to take my time with everything and really just enjoy the moment. That's really
we're not living properly.
That's a fact.
Like we're not taking in where we are. We're not understanding that, today, this day, we're not getting it again. These seconds don't come back.
Yeah.
So like when we're pushing and hustling, it's you want to balance life and your pursuit of whatever your happiness is, and make sure that you're understanding where you are in life and where you could end up if you don't live in the moment.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. It's being pushed and pulled in a lot of directions. But
Yeah.
so one important thing that I wanted to ask you is someone who is very frontward facing. Like you interact with a lot of people,
Right.
music, wherever you find yourself, right? How important is it to you, the notion of controlling the narrative?
And it's very important for me. Like, it's coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had to make sure I'm in control of what I'm saying, of what I'm doing and what's around me. Anything that has my name on it, it has to be in a way where it's equally beneficial for myself and depending on who I'm working with as well. So that's what you mean, right? Just to make sure. Yeah.
So well, just to continue, clarify further.
Yeah.
A lot of the narratives we have about ourselves, the initial thought, we sort of control, but not really.
Right.
Like let's say we go out, we at a party, and we see some girls, they're interacting with us, they like what they see, whatever, and then we're rude to them. So now when those girls go home, the narrative is, oh, like, yeah, I saw Yoru, I saw Kernard. They're not nice guys. Like, they're rude.
Right.
So now the narrative is you're rude. So now you walk around, and when you enter a room, they just see two rude people. And in some cases, you don't even have the chance to change the narrative. So when I speak to controlling the narrative, it's essentially how important is it to you to control the narrative people have about you? Being in an entertainment space where that can cost you relationships and opportunities that you may not even you may not even be in the room to defend yourself.
Well, in that, I can't control that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I can't control that. Now hearing what you're saying is I let people kind of choose exactly what they feel like they want to say about me until I introduce myself to maybe the person that they may have talked to, or whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna sit here and it's too much, bro. I can't sit here and worry about the things I can't control.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, my narrative, I'm gonna tell somebody my narrative. I'm gonna tell somebody who I am and what I stand for, what I believe in, X, Y, and Z. If they hear it from somebody else and they choose to believe that, I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
you.
Like, that's just on them. Like,
Now, would you say that your actions? Because I think a lot of times it's like, for the example I gave, the actions of walking in, interacting with these women, our actions play into our narrative, right? So I think if we put our foot forward in a way that we can control, so we'll have off days.
Right.
But I think when we control the narratives, like when people interact with you, they're like, he's a cool guy, funny, very warm personality. Like, those are the narratives that we want to help push out. So when you're interacting with people in these entertainment spaces, is that even on your mind in any capacity, or are you just kind of being who you are? Because some people curate that.
Yeah, being who I am, bro. Whoever I am that day, me personally, I'm gonna just be who I am, bro. I can't fake the funk. If I have a bad day, most of the time I'm not gonna go out. If I have a good day, I'm probably gonna go out.
Yeah.
So if I have a good day and I'm enjoying myself, people are gonna be able to feel that. If I'm having a good day, like, I mean, bro, you see me at events. Sometimes I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you're in a cut.
Sometimes I'm in a cut. Sometimes I'm chilling. So
And that's putting yourself in position to succeed. So I think that's important and that's smart.
Yeah. How about you? You feel like?
No, I mean, if you've ever gone out with me, it's like 3 different people.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in a circle.
Right.
Sometimes I'm in a corner looking like I got it on me.
Right.
So, like,
exactly.
It really depends on who you see that day. So I do try to, like, if I'm outside, I don't like to be, if I know I'm not in the best mood, like, I'll show face, but I'm not going to be as in people's faces because I know that I'm not in a place to put myself in a position to succeed.
And then they could be able to control that narrative and say, oh, he's...
Because the thing is, if they see you, they're like, nah, he was rude or he was mean, but nobody cares about the fact that he had a long week.
No bull.
It's just everything I see in front of me. That's why it's like, it's important to kind of be in control of how you meet people because you may not get to meet them again.
That is true.
So and especially, in this kind of social space, everyone wants to feel important.
Right.
And 100%. None of us really are.
No.
So it's like, you just got to be careful because that one time you meet that person, they may tell whoever may get the next bag for you, and now all of a sudden, you ain't got no bookings, you're staring at yourself in the mirror, you're looking bad.
Tight.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I think, controlling the narrative, it is something that we all do.
Right.
It's important to all of us, especially because the space that we're in is predicated off of the consumption of others. So
that's a fact.
So we're talking about narrative to keep that theme going. Do you think that, like, the understanding of narratives around artists, do you think overall it's been more of a positive effect to art or more of a negative effect?
To each his own.
To
each his own, for sure, because some people, everything is subjective.
Yeah.
Everything is subjective. So I could sit here and say I feel like it has had a positive effect, and somebody could, say different. Me personally, I mean, I feel like it's to each his own, bro, because I see some music and I see some artists who's doing things that I may not be doing the same way or I may not like, but I'm gonna respect an artist for at least putting themselves out there and showcasing their music and doing what they want to do. And it might be vice versa or same to somebody else. They might be looking at me like, You know, like I like what he's doing, but I wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
I think about it like this, like
Yeah.
we have artists that we like, we have
Right.
athletes we like.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I'm guilty of this.
Yeah.
I'll see an artist and it's like, yeah, the music's cool,
Mm-hmm.
but then I see them do an interview, and now my fandom changes because
Right.
like, wow, this person's cool.
Yep, that happens to me too.
Doing those interviews or even seeing like music videos,
Yeah.
you can kind of put into your mental mind what this looked like, and like let's say you thought a music video was like this, right? And then the artist does the same music video. It's like, wow, we really the same.
Yeah.
So when the artists are able to control their narrative in that way, I think it can help them positively. But to your point,
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of artists get in front of that camera and destroy their careers.
Destroy their career, not quite the same. Some people might be good at different things. Not everybody could do an interview.
Yep.
Shoot, not everybody could freestyle.
Yeah.
Not everybody could take the time to like just write at the crib. Not everybody could, you know, go to the studio and drink and smoke and then perform. So I think it's just to whatever is your flavor of doing things, continue to do it. No matter if you're being an artist or hosting a podcast or a show, behind the camera, whatever the case may be, whatever your flavor is, continue doing it. I feel like community grows each time you put yourself out there with what you're doing and like continue to focus on those people, not really the outside noise.
So the people who have digested your content and any, whether it's the music, the songwriting people you work with, or entertainment, right? Do you think they would say you're a better artist or a better person?
I feel like they would say person. Me personally, I feel like people enjoy my music and they like my music, but I think it's because they just like me in general that they like my music like more.
It makes it easier. Like, I like him, so the music, like, even if it wasn't good, I'd probably still bump.
Right.
Because I like who he is as a person.
Exactly. Like somebody could see me in a movie, like, and somebody be like, oh, I like his acting, or somebody could see me at a show and they'd be like, oh, like he's hosting, like he has so much charisma.
I know who he is. I know what he represents, what he's gonna bring.
So I think that's the reason why I like just showcasing who I am.
Yeah.
Because you might get a different side of me on a different day, but you might enjoy that side of me, you know?
I personally think marketing people is way more important than marketing music these days. Because there are a lot of artists who sell based on their persona, who they are as a person. Oh, wow, like him, like he seemed dope as hell. I'd hang out with him or her. She seems like a great time.
Yeah.
The music may not be all the way there, but the music is enough to the point where I feel like she's a good person. I'd want to support. So it's like, when you wrap that into like how that is their narrative, their music don't got to be great, their clothes don't have to be great, but because they're good people, we can create a narrative. Oh, they're getting, because I think stories sell more product than anything.
Oh, for sure, man.
Like, for example, like when they have those stories on like, you know, daytime television, you know, man saves son from falling car. We just like that headline. And we now put the persona that he's a hero.
Right.
Man could be a terrible person.
No funny.
But that's the narrative it's just so powerful these days. That's where the real dollars come to from my perspective.
Yeah, they say that too. I think they say that. They say like, for example, I think about artists like Cardi B who could transfer over from strip club to reality TV to a superstar. Yeah. You know, a lot of people now in this generation, they do care about a story, no matter what it is.
That is the modern day American dream.
Yeah, bro.
That's literally what it is. Modern day American dream.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
When people look at your art, like your content, whatever your output is, right? And they think of you as a person, and they kind of create this whole concept of who Kernard Reid is. What I know we can't control it, but in an ideal world, what would you want that takeaway to look like? Like Kernard Reid is,
I would say, transparent. I would say that's one word I could use. I could say transparent, and impactful. Like the things that I do, and especially in my music, the things that I feel like I talk about my stories, but some of these things are inspired from my friends and people I'm around. So when I'm making anything, even if I'm hosting a show, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I'm doing, I want people to feel the idea of like, oh, this impacted me in a way. You know what I'm saying? It may impact somebody in a motivational way. It may impact somebody in a way where they like, you know what? Like, I need to tap in with him more.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, we all just people at the end of the day.
Yes, we are.
So I think with anything I want to do, I do want it to feel transparent. I want it to feel organic. I want it to feel like just a natural conversation with everything that I do.
No.
So
Yeah. Transparent and impactful.
Yeah,
And I
transparent
think
and impactful.
that ties into something you said earlier, and I think we discussed earlier, being yourself. There's nothing more powerful than being yourself. Like people, it's almost to the point out, the people who are the people's champion and who are themselves, they're champion. Like they're escalated and adored because the power and energy it takes to be yourself unapologetically.
Yeah.
Some people walk their entire life will never have the courage to do so. So I think Kernard Reid is impactful and transparent. I like it.
Yeah, that's impact for sure. Like I'm not too big on like the idea of numbers. These are things that we got to look at. You know what I'm saying, from the business end. But when I sit down, I be like, when I pray, and it's like, all right, cool. What do you want out of this? I just want it to really impact somebody.
And to speaking to numbers, there are some songs, right? Some movies that have tremendous impact, but the numbers don't back it up. For like, He Got Game. I don't even think they broke even in the production versus the sales.
Right.
And just other songs we were outside for as a kid, where like that come on, like you know what's up. You know what's up with some of these tracks, like Dreams and Nightmares, March Madness. I'm not even sure if these are diamond songs, but nobody is standing still when I come on.
Right.
And that's impact.
Right.
And I think it's important that we, especially you, be aware of what these mean to us.
Yeah, for sure.
And it makes sense that those are your values. That's what you want to be remembered as.
That's impact for sure, bro. And like you said, like when you speaking about He Got Game, and that's the beauty of it. Like, and I think like Pac and like Cole said it, is like you may not be the person for the world right now, but it's gonna be somebody that's younger who may watch you and they get inspired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? By just that one thing that you do. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just being able to impact people with my music and with everything that I do for real. And I hope that they take it and they, apply lessons that I learned to their life in whatever way works for them. You know what I'm saying?
No, I respect that.
Yeah, man.
I wish you much success on that. Kernard Reid, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming through, talking.
Yes, sir.
This is Inside the Vibe. I'm Yoru Fitz. That's Kernard Reid. Catch you in the next one. Peace.